If it has 4 wheels and a motor, we have already tried proposing to it. Welcome to the Slow Motion Podcast with Shut Up and Drive It. Grab yourself a delicious cold beer and tell the rest of the world to shut the heck up. Here we talk real race cars and virtual race cars, from F1 to league racing. With live stream on Fridays and full releases on Mondays, our content is high octane, so lock your derriere into your cherriere and enjoy the ride.
Okay, now we're actioned.
We're actioned.
I've done this before, I swear.
Smooth start.
This is episode 4, guys, and I don't know if you saw it in the intro, if Eric was able to get it in there. This is called Watkins Spin and my beautiful Corvette. We can talk about that here in a little while. At Charlotte
Wasn't beautiful by the end of it.
It was still beautiful. It
Facts.
was just the bottom part, okay? Just the bottom part. But yeah, I spun. So we're going to start off with the Watkins Spin, and we're going to talk about a little bit of LeMans as well, and then we're going to wrap up with a little bit of Canada recap for the F1 race over the weekend. Welcome in. My name's Adam Thompson, joined by Eric Leitsky and Justin in the hall. But he's not in a hall. So
When I met him, actually, his name was originally Just Incredible. So he's actually Justin Hall Credible.
Okay. Okay. Nice. So, anyways, we've got Jay Hall here, Eric here. We're going to get right into it. Who's participating in the Watkins 6-hour this week? And I know for a fact you're not, Eric, because you're going to go see, I think, a man named Zane Plumley tomorrow.
I am. I've been really enjoying telling my friends about this journey, this pilgrimage I'm about to embark upon. It's an annual thing at this point, and I'm very proud of it that I've got such amazing friends that I can go and see and do stuff like this. But for all the listeners, I am flying from Florida to Nashville to ride down to Atlanta first, and then over to Alabama to spend the weekend watching a race in France. And I can't be more excited.
Yeah, and we are going to wait a minute. Let me get this straight.
Yeah, let's unpack that.
Yeah, let's unpack that. So you're going from Florida to Tennessee.
Correct.
And you're driving down to Alabama.
Georgia first.
To Georgia and then to Alabama. So
Correct.
you're going from Florida on an airplane, getting in a RV.
No.
Down to Georgia. No,
just a vehicle. Yeah.
So you're getting in a vehicle.
Probably an F-150, I would imagine.
Okay. So you're driving an
Based
F-150,
AF.
which has nothing to do with France, and you're driving it to Georgia, which is, if we're talking in terms of like generic things, France and Georgia might as well basically be polar opposites, okay? And then you're not done yet. You're going to go to Alabama.
Sweet home.
And then you're going to turn the TV on, which you could easily have done from either Georgia or Tennessee or Florida to watch a race that's happening in France.
Are they really that different, though?
Well,
Crepes are just like thin pancakes. Like
they are really thin pancakes, no? Yeah, but and like I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about here, but sometimes the effort, it's all about the boys, like, hey, life sucks sometimes, and you need the boys.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. And I'm glad you're able to get away. Jay Hall, are you going with him, or are you going to be stuck in Florida watching this race?
I will be competing in the Watkins 6 hour. I will be here.
So you're gonna be competing with SUDI then on Saturday, right? Whatever time slot you guys have picked.
TBD. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna run Friday night, Saturday, or both. It depends if we bin it. This is it's gonna be interesting being the first iRacing special event. I think at least in the GT3s that has rain.
Yeah, that's why it's called Watkins Spin. Are you gonna be driving the shit stain?
That's a good question. I think I'm going to leave it up to my teammates. I think we're leaning towards the 911, and I can't argue with that. I'm faster in the 911. I'm more comfortable in it. It's what I drove all last season. It's great in the rain. With the engine sitting that far back, you can really actually hook out of the corners. Front engine, rear drive is really at a disadvantage in the rain, I feel. So I think we're leaning 911 competitively.
All right. So I've obviously 911 in the rain. Should be good. Have you thought about any other vehicles? I know that Mustang hasn't been tested yet in the rain. Neither is Corvette, but I would imagine the Corvette would drive a lot like, if not exactly like, a Ferrari. And the Ferraris aren't bad in the rain either. So, yeah. I mean, or do you have any worries about maybe a Corvette or a Ferrari being able to keep up with you guys or pass you guys, especially when it comes to rain time? Because I know that Ferrari is BOP'd right now, and it's saying that it's going to be the best one.
Yeah. That's what I'm really curious, too, to see how... This is kind of the first, I feel, iRacing new content. The Mustang and the Corvette, where they didn't... iRacing kind of always has a tendency to kind of buff the new cars 100%. Just a little bit. I'm not going to go on record saying it's because they want people to spend money on their platform and buy all the new content.
Confirmed.
But it's interesting that they're fun cars, and I'm sticking to the Mustang, but they're not really knocking anyone's boots off out of the gate. So
right. It's funny to me, like, I think for the first time, especially in the GT3 world, road car world, they've introduced 2 American cars, and I think iRacing has thought about that, right? And they're like, we don't need to buff these cars. People are just going to buy them just because America. It's a Mustang and a Corvette.
It's just the sound even, yeah. It's just the novelty, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly who doesn't want freedom shooting out of the back of your vehicle, Like,
oh, my God.
I love the 911 because it's screaming. Like, there's some kind of freedom happening, but it's like mandatory freedom, The freedom that comes out of the Mustang and a little bit the Corvette. Not quite as much the Corvette, but...
The Corvette idle's nice. Oh, that's the one thing I'll give it. It's got the lope. It's got the lope. Yeah.
It does. Okay, I'll give it that.
And let's talk about the looks, too. Tell me, if you guys can sit here and tell me that Corvette isn't the most beautiful car. Maybe... Well, I can't even say the GT... If
I'm going to let Eric answer this one. This is going to be funny.
I love this.
If we're putting all
it's
of
ugly.
the GT3 cars in iRacing, right? We're putting all the GT3 cars in iRacing. That GT40, I don't know if you can really beat the looks of that GT40, but nobody drives it.
GT40 or GT?
The GT.
The GT, the most recent GT they did? Yeah, that thing was incredible. I feel like that was absolutely an engineering exercise for Ford to really push it as far as they could there.
Right.
So that's gonna be a tough one to beat. But yeah, man.
But
I don't know.
You're talking just pure exterior aesthetics, right?
Actually, yes.
Not how
really
shitty
quick.
The interior looks.
Right.
And okay.
I want to touch on this, and I'm really super glad that you mentioned the Ford GT, because as amazing as that thing was, I feel like the C8 Corvette is like the version of the Ford GT that we already have at home. You know what I mean? Like, you're at the store with your mom as a kid. It's like, Mom, look, that thing's awesome. I want to buy that thing. She's like, no, we already have that thing at home. The C8's the thing you have at home, and the GT's that thing on the shelf. You know what I mean? 100%.
That's the guy that she told you not to worry about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so true.
How many turbos does that Ford GT have? And then how many turbos does the C8 have? I mean, this is basic science here, guys.
All right, listen here. It doesn't matter about the turbos. We're not talking about turbos. We're not talking about engines. We're talking about the pure aesthetics, the exterior look of the car. And if you tell me, I will argue this with you all day long, that Corvette C8 has some of the best body lines
What? Huh?
in the game. Compared to what? What else other than the GT that is undrivable in the game? So we might as well not even. Well, it is drivable, but it's slow as shit. So we might as well not even talk about the GT. Okay. So, like, just come on.
Really quick, we have a very handsome individual in the chat, and I'd love to say a very warm hello to Mr. Daniel out there. Yeah, not much freedom from a V6, and cylinder count, please. Yeah, man.
Oh, fuck off, Daniel.
No, he can stay.
Anyways, aesthetics. Damn it. Agree with me, please.
I can't do it, man. Okay, you know what? The one thing I will say, the Corvette looks more like a Ferrari now than it ever has before.
Okay.
That's
so
all I can say.
Are you telling me that the Ferrari is the most beautiful car?
The Ferrari doesn't even look like a Ferrari anymore. It's crazy. Like, they're like, hey, Chevy is copying our design cues now. Our whole design philosophy is, American eats cheeseburgers and can be associated with a Malibu at this point. We've got to change it up. So they went radical, and I think it was too radical. It was,
Okay.
I don't know, it's too, like, you know how Bugatti has, like, those really, like, bubbly, soft lines and nothing looks, like, aggressive? Yeah. They did that. Mm-hmm. And it's not very Ferrari. Oh, man. Okay. So, listen, I have to be more kind because Daniel just made a comment about potentially having way too close of a proximity with my the rear of me. So, love you, buddy.
Oh, boy. All right. So, out of the cars in iRacing, what's your favorite GT? What is your favorite looking GT3, Eric?
My favorite looking GT3, iRacing cars as well. Okay, because I was gonna say the GTR. I am a massive just Nissan fan in general. I mean, I've got a freaking like GTR like right here. I love GTRs. I love Nissans. Sure. But that's sadly not in iRacing because for whatever reason Nissan just doesn't bring their stuff over here. Which Nissan, you should fix that. Yeah. But we're talking cars that exist within iRacing. I mean, that Porsche. That's it. Like, when in doubt.
I was gonna call it.
Yeah, I knew you would. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Second place though, I would happily give that to the M4. But if we're talking any GT3
that's a
car,
controversial pick.
Yeah. But hold on, I'm gonna redeem myself because if we're talking any GT3 car,
even Daniel, who owns a CSL in the chat. Daniel, who owns a CSL. I saw a puke face come up when the BMW was mentioned.
It's true.
He owns the car, literally.
Yeah, but like it's got the aggressive lines, right? Like BMW did a really great job with their GT3 package, in my opinion. The canards, the splitters, just the aggressiveness, the wide body. I feel like it was a really good implementation. But here's my redemption. If I can pick any GT3 car in the game, not current, Z4 or GT3 just wins. I mean, wins it all.
I can't hate on that one. I can't hate on the Z4.
It's incredible.
Or Z3. Was it a Z3 or a Z4?
Wait, no.
I don't remember now.
Daniel said it was the Porsche. Yeah,
yes.
Porsche is what's
Oh, no.
gross.
He was dissing the Porsche.
Yeah.
Wow.
Daniel.
Wow.
My friend, we need to have a talk. I'm not saying that he doesn't have great taste, because he does have great taste. But
yeah, and I'm not saying the front of a BMW looks like a pig nose now, but it's a great car.
You heard it here first.
It's a great car.
You heard it here first, folks.
Oh no! All right, what about you, Jay Hall? Are you going with the Porsche still?
Love you, Daniel. Best looking GT3. Honestly, with like race cars, like like GT3, GT4, I've never really thought about aesthetics and classic body lines. Yeah, as far as look, I've always like loved it based on the platform, based on the driving sim experience. I can't talk to the real things, of course, but as far as the best looking GT3,
I like that he's searching deep for this. He's not just throwing something out there.
I mean, look at.
Honestly, I think the one that's going to hold the test of time is the Mercedes.
Ooh.
It has truly the most classic lines of any car.
Yeah.
If you're looking for, like, I think what's going to, like, when you look at cars historically that have aged well, like when people talk about, like, you ask anyone, like, what's the most beautiful car? Yeah, DB5, Jag, E-Type. It's those classic, the classic fat ass, the curve, the lines to it. I think aesthetically it will age the best of any GT3.
Like some Daniel came in again. Daniel came in with another heater. He said this McLaren 720S, dude. You can't argue with that either.
Yeah.
That
he also is very biased.
I mean,
as a former McLaren owner, he is very biased.
But I don't think he's wrong either.
He's not wrong either. He's not wrong either.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
great cars.
Yeah, they are. Okay.
But that's my controversial pick. Is I think the Mercedes is classically beautiful.
See, this is gonna hurt me to admit because I like Mercedes better than I like Chevy, but I like neither of them at all.
Just on the brand, like the
right. Yeah, but I think Justin's right on this one.
The non-tangibles, yeah.
Hey, buddy, I still love you. I just don't love Mercedes.
Nope. Or you said Chevy too.
Yeah, but like, listen, like. That's not even the same thing. You shouldn't even put those two in the same room.
The fact that you lumped them into the same conversation, into the same sentence, Eric, is a bit offending. Very offending, actually.
I mean...
And, like, honestly, if we're all talking, like, being completely honest, we're talking about all these cars, and it's like, which supermodel wouldn't you fuck? They honestly are all amazing pieces of machenery. They look fucking, sound fucking amazing, and we're here nitpicking because we can.
None of them are even butterfaces, you know what I mean? Like, they fine. They fine. It's just like, okay.
Honestly, like... We have now gotten to the point, guys. I feel like we're starting to reach internet stardom where we can just say whatever we want because we're on the internet, right? Like,
no, it's the opposite. It's because no one's watching. We can say anything we want because no one's going to cancel us.
This is true. Who's going to report us?
All right, fair enough.
Well, no, hold on. I know for a fact
we got Bradley
the dogs
in here with the
watch.
Supra GT3.
Oh, he said the Supra? Oh man. I mean. Okay, so if they bring the Supra into like IMSA, then especially with iRacing, yeah, I agree. It's a fantastic looking car. You look at the GT4 that they have now with the supporting series, and I mean, that's a hot car. I think that's a car that's going to withstand the test of time as well. I mean, look at the Mark IV Supra. I mean, all the Supras really, but that one's got the right recipe. So that's another good contender.
But you already said the BMW was the second best looking.
Damn. Facts.
I'm sorry. I guess I had to.
Oh, okay. So, guys, we're gonna try to keep this. We're gonna try to keep this a little bit short. Our segments are. We're gonna try to shorten them up a little bit. So we're gonna give ourselves about another 8 minutes before we go to the next one. Oh, Daniel. Oh my God. Anyways. So we are going back to Watkins Glen. Okay. Yeah,
I love you, Daniel.
We're gonna go back to Watkins Glen real quick. Rain, spinning. Have you driven the Porsche in the rain yet around Watkins, Justin? I haven't driven it yet, but actually, Daniel, I was watching him and I wanted to run with him in the rain. I have yet to run an actual wet race ever in iRacing. How do you think? Because I saw a bunch of puddles and stuff. There's a lot of water collecting up against those new 3D curbs they have. Do you think that's going to be an issue? I mean, are you worried about incidents, about yourself, about your team? Like, what's kind of the plan going in here with the rain? Are you going to run a wet setup or are you going to run a dry setup?
We're going to run a dry setup. But I mean, definitely, obviously, as it comes in, I think you have to. This being the first rain event, I think there is going to be some legitimate strategy with people who can, if you have your boy sitting crew looking at the weather app, knowing when that rain's going to come in, when you switch to those wets is going to be crucial because if you've tried it in iRacing, it is impossible if there's any moisture on the track to be on slicks. It is a death sentence. And I forecast a bunch of people, pun intended, will just destroy themselves because of the inability to want to pit early. Maybe I'm going to milk a few more laps, and I think people are going to die. But I'm hoping the Porsche is the safest bet.
So
Just get it pointed where you want to go and go.
Right.
Never try and accelerate on corners. Just
it's gonna be
survive.
fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be fun for sure. And the beautiful thing on this, it's a 6 hour, so it's not like you don't have to feel like you ruined your whole day. You could try again, pretty much with the 6 hours, and you don't have a whole team of people you just fucked over. I'm pretty much everyone in SUDI is doing 2, max 3 drivers, so we'll see how it goes.
Who you running with?
I think, man, we are always shaking up shit to the last minute. I believe. I believe.
That's shout out to you, Bradley.
I believe at this moment I'm probably going to end up partnering up with Simon over at shout out S1 Racing. Check out his league. Check out his YouTube channel. Some sick stuff with his fucking Audi RS6 Avant that he's sliding around in the Canadian snow. Yeah, so I'm pumped. I think it's going to end up being me and him running a 2-piece on that, and we'll see how we can do.
Cool. All right. Well, any closing thoughts about Watkins Glen, my spin, anything? Eric, Justin, shut the fuck up. You've already said enough about my spin. You even put me online. So,
Oh man.
anything?
And I named you on Twitch too. There's a Twitch clip saved. Adam Thompson sucks at driving. That's the clip that will come up.
Listen,
You know
the
what's
only
funny?
thing I'll say about it is at least you didn't spin out in front of the Stig and ruin his day.
Oh my god, if we could cover that.
Oh,
That
we can
is
do that
like
after
the
break.
most monumental crossover of people we know personally in sim race with, and probably the most popular motorsport celebrity between mainstream people and racing fans, the Stig,
I
Ben
have to
Collins.
agree. I think we should cover
Yep.
this after.
We'll get
next
into it.
break.
We'll get into
Yeah.
it.
Sounds like
Stay
that's
tuned
gonna
on that
be
one.
Exactly what. Yeah, we're going to talk about that after the break. But until then, guys, don't go anywhere. We will be right back. All right, we're good on my end.
That was good. We kept that tight.
back, guys, and apparently it sounds like there was somebody who spun out in front of the Stig. I know nothing about this. So, J Hall, Eric, care to let me know what exactly happened here?
Yeah, there was a little bit of drama. A little bit of like I said, it's a crossing of worlds. Like doing sim racing, it's almost surreal at times. Where it's my personal experience, really quick, would be I jumped into this not knowing anything about real racing at all, as you guys know, even Formula One, and I ended up in a race in iRacing against Fernando Alonso. Heads up. Of course, he blew me out of the water. Never saw him the whole entire race. Which leads us to our current situation. Current person that we know autocross with in real life. Great guy. Shout out.
For years.
Shout out. Old Michael. And Banana Man, as he's more known. His moniker is Banana Man.
Always has been.
And I don't know if you guys have seen the Stig. Ben Collins has started his own YouTube channel for sim racing. He's getting into it, which is awesome. I love to see other motorsport OGs get into sim racing and legitimize it now. Like you see Max and the young guys, but old heads getting into it. And he is starting in the kind of the lower brackets, working his way up because he just created his iRacing account. He's streaming, showing everything. I think he's racing a Formula V. I'm trying to remember what track. I think they're at Summit. And he's getting drafted on by two Vs coming up on him. Everybody gets tangled up. He gets wrecked, sent out. And part of his stream is to look at it in retrospect, evaluate the crashes. And it's unmistakable when you see Banana Man's car. Any livery he has is fucking neon yellow.
With some good sometimes.
And it is like it's so surreal to watch. The Stig, somebody that we've looked up to, Ben Collins, seeing him post the Stig career. Like this guy that's like a celebrity to us is sitting there saying, "Oh my God, Banana Man wrecked me. Banana Man wrecked me." And he's like multiple times he's saying there, "Banana Man ruined my race." And that's something that Eric and I have said, I don't know, 30 or 40 times in my life now.
Shout out to Zane Plumley.
He's a menace.
And his league,
and I love him to
tonight.
death. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, running in ZPM. But yeah, he's a staple of that league. He is like
This guy's name?
Michael Cabrera.
Yep.
Okay.
And
okay.
I don't know if we should have said that on here. Good thing no one watches it. But Banana
Don't
Man
dox
is
this
what
man.
yeah.
Banana Man.
It's all in good intent, but he races hard, man. He races hard. And
Well,
it was insane to watch. It was insane to watch me watching the Stig say a complaint that I have said.
Listen, I think for our spicy live viewers here, we love you, by the way. I think we should do the screen share for them. I think you need to share this clip, Justin. We need a Jamie. Jamie, pull that shit up.
Will that work?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do we have
Shout out
that?
to
Do we have that technology? You can do it.
Yeah.
Oh
you
fuck
can
yeah!
do it, J-Hawk.
Play the clip. I'm from my camera right now. I don't know how to, because usually I'll do it from OBS so I could switch.
Oh, you
but
just
I don't
gotta
know how to
share the
play a
screen
clip.
Here. You just got to share the screen here in Squadcast.
Do I have that option?
Oh,
Yes.
so right
Oh,
next
no.
to the stop button, start screen share. Actually, Control S. Just press Control S. You don't even have to click anything.
Let's get the clip.
Let's go to the clip.
Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie's pulling it up right now.
Where you at, Jamie?
Jamie.
Do you guys have Jamie? Because I don't have Jamie. Where's
No,
Jamie?
Jamie is always in the back. You never see him. If you see him, then he's not real.
Copy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bradley, by the way, just called you a boomer, J Hall. So I hope you enjoy that. You deserve that one.
Bradley called me a boomer.
Of all the people from SUDI to call anyone a boomer, it's Bradley.
Oh. All right, what was the hotkey again to bring up screen share?
Control S.
Control S.
Control screen share. Oh man, so shouts outs to our commenting viewers there, because I just realized thanks to them we now have all the branches of the real military represented here. Coasties, you don't
Oh,
count.
you're kidding
It's not
me.
wartime.
Wait, Daniel was in the military now too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well then.
All right, did that work? Did that share my screen?
Yeah,
Can you
it's
guys
working.
see? Can you guys see the Stig?
Yep.
We can. That is the Stig. I never knew who the Stig was because he was always like an enigma, right? Nobody
Yeah,
ever really knew.
yeah.
Okay, we're ready for it.
Look, can you hear?
No. You might have to share the audio
That's-
too, which is that might be a separate button.
Yeah, I don't. Do we have the technology for that?
We should.
We can look that up for the next episode. I feel like we're going to spend too much time on this, but
It's true.
it does exist. How do I stop sharing my screen?
Hit
Try-
stop sharing your screen.
Hit Control S. There you go.
Perfect.
There we go. All right.
But yeah, we'll,
So,
we'll come pre-prepared with more content for that.
Jamie's
But-
getting fired, but we're gonna rehire him.
Yeah, we'll rehire him. But yeah, we'll circle back.
Absolutely insane. There's absolutely no other way that I feel my world would have collided with the Stigs in any other sort of sense but sim racing, and it's just
Well, that's
Fucking love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad we had this moment. But I want to have a moment right now with Daniel Kiro. My friend, 10 years. I am coming up on my 10 years in September, on September 9th in USAF as a KC-135 mechanic for 8 of those and as a C-130 mechanic, or for 9 of those and as a C-130 mechanic for the last year, coming up on a year here in July. So thank you for your service, Daniel, and obviously anybody who watches this stream, thank you everyone for their service. Bradley was in the Navy. You don't count. I'm not even going to read your message. Anyways.
Thank you for your cervix.
Yeah, but moving on. We're going to talk about Canada here for just a little while. It was a race, boys.
That was
it was
quite
an
a race.
actual race.
I enjoyed that. The track was loose.
I-
The cars were loose. The drivers were loose.
it was wild.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
So, Justin, do you remember our predictions?
I vaguely, I'm pretty sure I got the first 2 right. My wild card was not right.
You're,
It was not right.
You haven't listened to the podcast because I haven't put it out yet. Eric.
Because I thought I called Verstappen, Norris,
And who?
Ricardo.
Yeah. Who'd you call
What?
to take P3? Do you want to say that
Uh,
one more time so the audience can hear us?
I thought it was going to be a hot take.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What's
Yeah,
even
yeah,
worse
yeah,
is
yeah.
you didn't know when we were watching in person. I almost put money on Ricardo to get in the place a podium because the
true.
odds were so he was plus 2250 I think on odds, so you would make a killing.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, he qualified high enough. Maybe he can just. But no, it's a pipe dream, I think.
Yeah, and speaking of pipe dreams, so that's exactly where Daniel Ricciardo's career is going at this moment.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Down
Yeah,
one.
that's what I'm
Straight
saying.
down one.
My boy is a
So,
lame horse. He done broke his leg, and they don't want to shoot him, but they got to shoot him
No.
because he's suffering.
They're gonna have to, and I think everybody knows it. I think Daniel.
I think Daniel
too.
knows it.
So you got to think we all love Daniel. You can't. I've never met a person that doesn't like Daniel Ricciardo. They may not like him as much as their favorite driver, but everybody loves Daniel Ricciardo. Nobody's got any ill-fated will towards Daniel. But now the
why
problem
do
is
they
that
like him?
because of his
His
personality.
personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
Now,
because he
let's
wins.
think-
And that's
Right,
I'm
but
sorry, but it's a business.
But
Think
it's
about
also
this
F1. It's
But now-
like you said, it's not 100% a race. It's
Jesse
it's
said you're wrong,
1/3
Adam.
a show.
No,
This is so
but
true.
now, that personality aspect of Daniel Ricciardo is wearing off as well. You've
Yeah.
got newer, younger personalities coming in. I mean, look at Max Verstappen. We all thought Max was a giant douche for many years. And he's come out of his shell. He's gotten into iRacing. He's starting to talk with all of his viewers. And he is actually starting to look like have fun. And Max, it pains me to say this because I wanted to hate him and I did hate him for so long, is a good guy. I
It's
think
just because you were a Lewis
cool.
fan. You,
Right.
you you needed to hate him because you didn't want to believe that the new era was here.
It was
And
Team Edward versus Team Werewolf, whatever that was. I don't even know.
Edward versus, I don't know, I can ask you. But
Same-
we've got
same deal.
we've got Daniel. We kind of talked about this a little bit last night. We'll hit on it again because we're
Team
trying to look for
LH.
some talking
Okay.
points for the
Okay.
next,
Yeah.
for the next.
How did they re-sign Checo? Let's touch that really quick.
We got 15 minutes to talk about it, Eric. What are your thoughts? Why, of all the people on the fucking grid that deserve that seat, why him?
Because my boy Checo, great guy, great driver, even better lapdoggy. He does what is told. He delivers. He does not want P1. He is happy with P2 because, let's be real, he's struggling to get P2 in one of the fastest
Can't
cars.
even get P2, Eric.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing wrong with silver. There's nothing wrong with silver.
Yeah, but
How about bronze or less than bronze? That's
problem-
what we're talking about right now.
the problem now, though, is Red Bull, the secret's out. They don't have that runaway advantage that they did, right? So Checo's got to put up or shut up because now the Constructors' Championship is actually a decent race. So I think the reason why they decided to give Checo another chance and extend his contract year-by-year basis, because it's a 1+1 year deal. So if he wants to see 2026, he has to perform in 2025. I think it's a win-win for Red Bull because Red Bull has notoriously sacked their drivers as soon as they've seen, okay, it's going to be beneficial to switch to someone else. Who would be that driver for Red Bull right now? Who would they pull in that they know could be second on the grid but not challenge their first place driver? Because that's a whole other piece as well. If you have, I mean, look at Mercedes.
One person comes to mind.
Who?
His name is Carlos Sainz.
Okay, but Carlos Sainz will not let Max be the number one driver. Carlos.
But he won't challenge Max. No, but I don't.
Oh,
I don't
he
see
absolutely
Carlos being
would.
able-
I think he
You don't
absolutely
think so?
would. I think he would
Really?
because
You think
Carlos.
he's that good.
Carlos to me is one of the most complete drivers on the grid. It's insane to me that Ferrari's letting him go. That
When
guy,
he puts it all together, that's
he
the problem.
always puts it all together. To me, he has his off moments, but I sometimes honestly wonder.
He's
if-
consistent.
He's very consistent. So like when he does have his moments, I feel like I don't want to blame the car, but I'm curious to see what the car conditions are, like what the setup is and what the vibes are before the incidents take place, because that guy is dialed in, and what I really like about him is he doesn't just do his job. He does the race engineer's job, the pit strategist's job, all that as well. Not to the extent that they do it, but he puts himself in the moment to try to think what is the most advantageous thing for me to place well in this race, and he's usually right. And for that to be the case as a driver in the seat, to be able to make those kinds of calls, there's a lot more going on with that you don't see or hear. So it makes me think very highly of Carlos, and he always backs it up.
Eric, you weren't on the pod last week, so we're gonna have to ask you, where do you think he's gonna go now? Do you think he's waiting? Do you think he's gonna hold out for Audi? Do you think he's just gonna be a reserve driver for a year? What do you think he's gonna do?
I think that man is literally deciding. I think both teams are trying. So Williams and Sauber / Audi right now, they are both like, bro, we have a blank check for you. Show up, do the thing. It's really. I don't envy the position he's in right now because you look at it, right? You have Williams, a really not well-performing team right now, but they're a very established team. They have a ton of culture. They're
moving up.
They're moving up. They're on the up and up, but they're also a very prestigious team. Like even if you make it to Williams right now, it's definitely an accomplishment. It's just less of a piece of pride because they don't perform well. But they seem to have a pretty good program now, and they're putting their resources in the right place, at least outside looking in. So you can absolutely argue that there's potential in that kind of a move. But then, let's look at Sauber / Audi, right? It's set to become Audi for the very first time in 2026. I don't know how long you guys have been following Formula One, but there's
One season.
really only one team that I can think of that came together and actually won the championship, and that was Braun GP. And that really, honestly, doesn't fully count because that was the former race principal of Ferrari, and like the dream team just happening to all like be free agents with like a car that was already sick. Like, and not to say that they didn't, put in a lot of work and effort to make this the case, but it's extremely rare that something like that ever takes place. To have a team come in fresh and do well right away. So For Carlos, it's tough, right? Because like if you look at manufacturer backing, like Audi is of course going to be like one of the bigger ones, but we live in the cost cap era, so they can't spend more than anyone else, you know, and they have so many more years ahead of them before they even have, you know, like any experience at all in Formula One, because Audi hasn't been in Formula One. I think Porsche Audi, if I remember correctly, did a team.
You are exactly correct. Yep.
Yeah, so they were never full on, you know, supporting a team. It was a joint effort. So it's going to be interesting. And I think the more sad part is Carlos kind of realizes with those two teams, if those are his only two options, he's going to be looking like Alonso's age, the same kind of shot Alonso's got, where, you know, he's an older guy, one of the older guys on grid, you know, still super fast and still a contender, but he's fighting with these teams that are fighting to become relevant too. So it's a bit of an uphill battle, I think, but it would be good to see him go to either because it'd be great for those teams.
So we've got
how old is Sainz? He's got to be. Is he 30 yet?
No,
I feel like
I
he's
think
like
27 or 28, if I remember correctly.
Is he? I thought he was old. He's still got. But I feel like that's his prime right now. Then
So
It is.
we've got Daniel in here with a bit of a hot take, and I agree with him. He goes, I bet he's waiting to see if Adrian signs with someone other than Ferrari. And I don't. First of all, Daniel, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if Adrian's going to sign with anybody, but if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Ferrari, which
Agreed.
takes me back to our first or second episode where I said LH knew something. That's why he made this move so quickly. But with that being said, I don't know what's that. Do you think Carlos is going to be able to follow Adrian if he signs with Ferrari? No.
Well, no, he's out. He's out of Ferrari.
Right.
But if he goes to Williams, I could see that. And I could see...
Do you think Adrian would go back to Williams, though?
Hey, man, money talks. And Williams seems to be pretty hungry right now. I don't know what kind of, fundraising or, back-end money work they have going on there. But if they can incentivize big names to come, I mean, that's how you get your team back on the top, right? They struggled to do well because the talent was taken everywhere else, you know? Like, if you start attracting the talent one way or another, time's just going to be, a thing at that point. You just got to put it all together.
All right. We're going to...
Oh, that's a good point, actually, what Daniel just said.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, James Voles, he actually was the team principal at Mercedes before Toto was. And a lot of people know Toto very well because he was the team principal during the successful LH years. But he was not the man that built that team to make it successful. Toto was a great figurehead and a great businessman. And I'm not saying that man didn't make a great contribution to the team, but he is not the man to make that team, for sure. So that's a great point, Daniel. Thank you for that.
Yeah, James Vowles is definitely doing things at Williams that I don't think we ever thought was going to be able to be done again. If they get rid of that fucking American, and I hate that, hurt me so bad. That hurt me so bad to say that.
It didn't hurt me, bro. Florida man does not belong in a Formula One car. It just nothing about that sounds right.
No,
I'd like to see it.
I mean, we're seeing it. It's bad. It's bad.
We are seeing it.
It's not good.
That's Logan Sargent, by the way. Logan Sargent is the Florida man, and this is a whole nother subject, and we've got like 3 minutes here in this second segment, but it's like, God damn it, dude! There are so many good American drivers that can go out and drive these cars, and the way F1 has their freaking super license points set up are just dumb. Get rid of them, dude. Just let drivers drive that we know are good drivers. I'm off my soapbox. When it comes back full circle to James Vowles, that guy's doing something at Williams that I didn't think we were ever going to be able to see again. Look at what Alex Albon is doing in a car, other than Canada, is doing in a car that shouldn't be done. I mean, the reason Alex Albon got spun is because he was battling for a position that if Williams in the past years wouldn't really be battling for, dude. They would have been 20 seconds off the pace, 30 seconds off the pace, and
he was collected by Sainz, actually, wasn't he?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So he was duking it out with the Ferrari. Granted, these are moist conditions, but yeah, that's a good
Say
point.
That one more time.
Moist conditions.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, just want to make sure to trigger anybody who's watching the broadcast.
Quite moist.
But yeah, long story short, J Hall, my predictions didn't go as planned as either, but they went better than yours. I will say that.
I honestly don't remember. I think I got the first 2 right though.
You did, but the third one was way off. So Eric,
okay, yeah, way off base. I'll give that.
My predictions was Max and George. We're going to come together in turn 1. It was raining. I was like, yep, they're wrecking.
Okay.
Lando Norris is going with them. Lando Norris is going to pick up debris. Oscar Piastri is
debris,
somehow
by the
going to
way.
do
It's
something.
debris.
Long story short, Lewis Hamilton wins the race. Okay? That's what I
Shut
was
the
gonna say.
hell
Lewis
up.
Hamilton starting from way. That was my prediction.
You're just making stuff up
Way
now.
back in 6th place. He's going to win the race. Everyone's got damage in front of him.
And
They
Lance
got hit
Stroll
early. They're
goes
off
to
strat.
Red Bull, right?
All right, fuck off.
And his corgis in the background clapping.
I love you,
That
buddy,
didn't
but
happen.
Lewis is not
Well
winning
done,
any more
Lewis.
races.
Well done, Lewis.
Lewis did better than Daniel did. Let's
Yeah, that's
start
not really
there.
saying
Yeah.
anything.
Okay.
True.
So I will say that. And Lewis
I knew I was
throwing.
throwing a Hail Mary. Let me be clear that I knew I was throwing a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Lewis at one point was battling / passed George, who started in first, by the way. So don't tell me.
George was never going to be on the podium in that race.
Yeah, don't tell me George is a better driver. And I'm starting to
I'm
get
not.
these things. I'm starting to see these things around Facebook and around Instagram and all the saying
How many
George
times-
is a better driver than Lewis.
I'm sorry to
Not
interrupt
the
you, but
case.
how many times has Lewis crashed on the last lap in the last 2 seasons versus George?
Never.
Because George,
Never.
it's more than 2 in the last 2 seasons. Last lap.
Lewis?
No, George crashing in the last
yeah.
freaking lap, dude. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Like you make it's from a podium position too. That's why I knew
I
this
know.
race. He ain't gonna be there. He's gonna mess it up because now
I did
he's got the
mention-
monkey on his shoulders.
I did mention, too, the pace of the Ferraris. I was worried about it in qualifying and came to fruition in the race. That was not a good race for Ferrari at
Yeah.
all. And I'm hoping it was just the moisture. But, I mean, those McLarens
The what?
were further
So
off.
is Ferrari.
Yeah. Those McLarens were further off than they were in Imola. But at the same time, well, obviously they were further off because one of them won the race. But they were still close enough. You know, a Canada, which we knew was going to be a good track for
Yeah.
Red Bull. Straight line speed, just a few chicanes. That whole, like Jesse said, that whole track is chicanes. Left, right, right, left, right, hard right, straight away. Left, right, left. Like, it's just one of those tracks, right? So we knew Red Bull was going to be good, but I do have a bit of hope for McLaren here. I mean, they
Lando
locked
was
it out
hot
again.
for a minute.
Yeah, they locked it out again. I mean, where did Sergio finish? Eric, correct me if I'm wrong. 5th, 6th?
Sergio, DNF.
DNF. That's even worse. So again, you've got these 2 McLarens up here, taking 2nd and 3rd, with Max obviously in 1st. But I mean, this is huge for a title fight, and the fact that they signed Sergio the week before he crashed out.
Yes.
Do you
That
think
man
they're starting-
only performs when his ass is on fire. And
Yep.
from what I have heard, of course, I don't know anything myself. I'm freaking just me. But the rumor is that there is some stipulations in the contract extension as well. And I totally believe it because Red Bull is famous for just ousting people in the middle of the season. So I can see them going, hey, yeah, we saw that you did finally turn it around and like you're driving like this is actually a fast car instead of whatever it is you were doing before. I think we can work this out. You're not trying to challenge Max, and Max can put up with your nonsense. So this is good, and we're gonna do this. But if you go back to sucking, then peace, man. Like we're just gonna do something else. So I think I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting because I've always noticed, even when Checo, let's see, was he in Force India? I think at one point. I think he started at Force India, or he was there, and then it became Racing Point. That's
Yeah.
right. So he was
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Yep.
even in those days, man, like it was notable to me that he would be like, because Force India, they were like maybe 5th or 6th constructors, if I remember correctly. Like they were like mid-pack, right? He would go from like around mid-pack to like at the beginning of the season to he would just fall off. Even in Force India, it was notable because I think Adrian Sutil maybe was his teammate, and he always outperformed him. And like I always was like, okay, he's all right, but when he got to Racing Point with I think he was driving with Ocon at the time. I mean, it's freaking Ocon. Of course, you're gonna look good next to that guy. He just he found the right stride to look good at the right times, but always has had this weakness where he starts strong and just can't keep the momentum. I don't know if it's a training thing, if it's a mentality thing, what it is, but it's chronic Checo.
Yep. Guys, I am watching the chat here. We obviously we can't get to it all. We got to shut this segment down. But Bradley said nothing says he has to drive. He can be a test driver to finish his contract.
It's true.
Daniel said the final race he went from last to first in
He's
Force
kinda
India. Yeah. And then Bradley said he
Too
has a
chubby
of
of a face for me.
So on that bombshell, I think we're going to end this. Justin, unless you have anything to say, but we are going to clip slow B1 here, Bradley. But before, Justin, do you have anything to say about the race?
No. No.
So we're going to go to this break with Bradley saying Checo Perez has too chubby of a face for me. We will see you guys back on the other side of the break. We're doing some LeMans trivia with Justin and Eric here, so it should be fun. We will see you guys on the other side.
We are excited to announce a new tool collab with Bofa Industries. We expect a bright and prosperous future moving forward as Bofa D's. Philip, 55 years in business this year. That is a legacy D's nuts can be proud of. Grandma D's stainless hardware, made with the highest quality. You can never over-tighten D's nuts.
We are back, guys, for the final segment of the podcast, and I really do wish Jesse Olsen was here for this. Eric, I see you're out of your long drink, so if you want to go get one real quick. I will
That's a good
try
idea.
to make this intro as quick as or as long as possible. Jesse, we
Just wanted to
miss
say
you. We're
really
gonna be
quick. I'm more than 2 in the pink at this point, so I'll be right back.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Very nice, Eric. But Justin, you've got Watkins coming up here. Do you know anything about LeMans? Because I can tell you I was not prepared to talk about this at all tonight. Obviously, Daniel said Ford has the top time in Q1, which is very impressive, to be honest. I did not think. Daniel, what kind of Ford was it, first of all? And while we're waiting for that, Jay Hall, do you have any predictions? Do you know anything about it?
Honestly, I know very little about LeMans. It was the only things that I've learned about LeMans now recently since I've gotten into motorsport are the disasters. Like the brutal drama, like the 55 crash. The stuff that it's like you can't believe this was actually something that happened in motorsport. Cars just flipping on their own, having to integrate chicanes because it's too fucking fast. Like that's the whole spectacle of LeMans is fucking wild. And that's been a big thing for me to learn about.
You know what pisses me off, guys, more than anything about LeMans, then we'll actually get into
I didn't want to answer that question.
What you think's going to happen this weekend, Eric, is the fact that these guys don't run to their cars anymore. You know? Like,
yeah.
That is fun. See, that's what's fucking wild. Like,
right?
they should have that in NASCAR, to be honest.
But I think the reason why they don't have it is a good one, and that is because
Safety.
right? Because
Safety schmafety. They're doing 250 miles an hour down the longest straightaway built.
right, and think about it. The cars are already not gonna withstand that. But if you now add back into the race, okay, you have to get into this vehicle, strapped in, suited, booted, turn it on, put it in gear and go as fast as you can. There's absolutely going to be some people like safety third, you know?
Yeah, who would ensure that?
Yeah. It's asking for more deaths. It's asking for,
I'd watch
for
it,
serious
but
injuries.
fuck.
Like it does hurt the original vibes, you know, like when they were driving stuff like this. They just hop in and go. Look, there's no roll cage or anything on these, you know, but they also died. Like it was expected, like 1 or 2 people a race was gonna die. And like I don't know about you guys, like I love racing, I love cars, and if I died doing it, you know, I'd die happy, but I would rather not.
No,
It's the spectacle of the past, man. Like stuff was. It's even seeing old NFL, NBA people smoking cigarettes, drinking beers at halftime. Like, it's like it's a different world. Like it was formative. It was formative for what motorsport is today. It has to be fine tuned and dialed in, but it started from something crazy, and we have to appreciate that.
Yeah, back then you would live hard and die fast. Now you can live fast and die hard.
Yep. Yeah. Well. What were we talking about? I totally just forgot. I'm sitting here with a point in my head, and Eric comes through with
what in your head? Is that what you call it? All right, no, we've got to get back on track.
So,
all right.
Eric, I'm going to hand this segment over to you before we go to the games, because the games are going to be about LeMans. So, talk to us. Talk to us about LeMans in the chat real quick after the chubby face comment from Bradley. Oh, also, I did want to say, Justin, Jesse said his prediction was the closest for the F1 race in Canada. He predicted Max to win.
Probably.
I think he predicted Lando second. I can't remember who he thought was going to come third. But anyways, back to...
It definitely wasn't Russell, but maybe he...
I think he may have predicted George in third. Maybe.
Did he? Did he get it? Get it?
He did. He mentioned how I was like, yeah, there's no way that Mercedes is going to be able to keep up with the straight line speed of either one of those two cars. And he said, yeah, but that is not really a straight line speed track. There's 1/2 straight line straights that Mercedes has to deal with, and then you can't pass anywhere else. But again, remember, if you do remember your predictions, Jesse, let me know. But
we'll give it to him.
Back to this chat. So LeMans GT3 Ford has a top time in Q1. Eric, right now. And then
believe
Proton
it.
Team, driven by a German driver. Number 2 is the McLaren 720S. Then Bradley comes in with ORM. Now they're talking about Inception Racing.
Wait, Ford is number 1?
Ford is number 1 in the GT.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
have the
with my
speed.
only frame of reference being iRacing.
Well-
The car is garbage in iRacing in GT3, but the top speed, like I feel like it's grit is the power.
Same with the GT4 version of the Mustang. It always won Daytona. Like always. It's a high speed track. You get the same thing with Le Mans. It makes sense that they would have that edge.
But when it comes to the racing, though, do you think that obviously in qualifying it's different? And this is another. Is it open qualifying, Eric, for Le Mans, or is it single? It should
I'm
be
pretty
open
sure
qual.
it's open qual. I'm pretty positive that's going to be open qual. I could be wrong, but
so-
I don't think it wouldn't. Yeah, I'm almost positive. There's too many. Yeah, no, there's way too many people for it to not be open
right.
qual.
So are there enough corners corners for that Ford to be able to make a jump? Because obviously drafting the slipstream and not this track is just you say the slipstream, it doesn't matter how fast you are in a straight line.
Correct. But I think there's enough of a straight line, and it's such a duration of the track that Ford is absolutely going to be able to really wring the neck of that advantage. They're gonna have the pace, and as long as they are not too hard on tires into some of those turns, I think they're gonna be okay. Because that is one thing with the Mustangs. They feel like big booty bitches, you know. So like you really got to work them into turns. So like
more weight is more pressure on the tires,
100%.
like in every aspect. Yeah.
So I mean, if they have way more tire degradation than the other teams, then advantages are going to wither away no matter what they are. So I think it all depends on their tire strat, because I mean, I think no matter the team, if your tire wear is too great, then it doesn't matter what you bring to the table.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's get into Daniel said they're still working on reliability being a new platform. It's always reliable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's in GT3s or on the road. There's a reason there are so many Ford memes.
Do you guys know what Ford stands for?
Fix or
Found on
repair
road.
daily.
Yeah.
It's like there's multiple correct.
Found on roadside dead.
So bad.
I also like the one.
Yeah.
So you guys, everyone, including the listeners, the Ford logo. It's that blue, kind of like circular thing. Ford.
Yes.
It's got the circle. Ford circles the problem. Where with Chevy, you need the Lord to save you.
Exactly. Yep. Or my favorite one, obviously, and we can say this. I think your stream is 18 or over, right?
Oh,
We've
yeah.
already dropped
Fuck it.
We've already dropped the F-bomb, so it doesn't matter. Fucked up or rebuilt Dodge. It has got to be my favorite Ford slogan of all time.
I love it. I've never heard
minor
that one. but
a
that's
minor stretch.
Yeah. So
Where does the U go?
That's
well,
true. That's true.
Okay,
Although Dodge
so
is
let's
worse
go-
than Ford, though. I will say.
Let's talk about SUDI for a minute. Is it shut up, drive it, or is it shut up and drive it? Shouldn't it be SUADI?
Well, it should.
And is a tertiary word that does not be. It's not
So is
included.
Be... Hello.
No, wait. What was the acronym again that you had?
Fucked up or rebuilt Dodge.
Up. Up is the one you're skipping, so you can't skip up.
Oh shit.
That'd be like us skipping the U in SUDI.
That's true. Yeah, I like that. It's a tertiary word. That's
Bradley gets back in here again. Didn't 3 out of the 4 new U.S. cars made failed the last IMSA race?
Hey,
damn. Hey, don't you
Other
go
than what?
hitting us with facts like that?
Oh, other than what?
I mean,
which car didn't fail, Bradley? If you don't mind letting us
Yeah,
know
which
in the chat, which car?
is the one that did make it? Was it the GT? Because that was the one that ejected the least amount of freedom out of the back. I love the way that thing looked, but the way it sounded, it left some desire in my heart.
It may have been the GT,
Which one?
but I think it was the Chevy.
The GT.
I think it was the Vet.
That makes sense, because the Vet is like, yeah, it's new. That's the same shit for like, I don't even know how long at this point. They keep the same
Just-
recipe.
a rebadged GTE.
Yeah.
All right, Eric. let's get to some predictions here, and you're going to be the only one that makes predictions because I have no idea who's running. I used to keep up with this stuff, and
Well,
obviously
let me
life has
pull up
gotten in
the
the way.
entry
I've been
list.
on an aircraft wash this week, so I've just been washing airplanes. And it's I haven't had time to really look into the Le Mans qualifying or anything like that. I will watch the race. But give me predictions. Obviously, in the GTP or LMDH or whatever the fuck they call them in WEC. And GT3s. I think they're running the GT4s as well. So give me your predictions here for teams.
So for the prototypes, man, I don't know. It'd be cool to see Penske pull it off, but I mean, you got Cadillac in there too. Like, there's some really big name teams. So I don't know. Like, I'm looking at the list right now. I want Penske to do it because I'm a big Porsche fan, and Cadillac is GM, and I think I've established my level of fandom with that one. I think Toyota also has a good shot. They always bring very fast cars.
They don't have Fernando driving the car, so they're fucked.
I mean, but are they? Like, I like Fernando, and he's a great driver, but he's not necessarily the end-all, be-all. Oh, that's true. Toyota does have Kobayashi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
the hot dog eating guy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh no, let's not even get into the hot dog eating. I saw.
Look,
I saw all the
I've
drama about
seen
the hot dog eating, so we're not even gonna start.
So LMP2, I don't really care. I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. LMGT3.
Stand by. Weren't they supposed to get rid of the LMP2? Or no, it was the LMP3 that they got rid of, right?
Correct. They folded it out of that series and into, I can never remember what that supporting series is. It's not the GT4s and TCRs. They rolled them into that, so it's like a mini series of the WeatherTech series.
Okay, gotcha.
Let's see. But for the GT3 cars, let's see. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to see the Mustang.
By the way, Daniel said P2 for CrowdStrike. He thinks CrowdStrike's going to take the P2. LMP2.
Okay, I could see that. I could totally see that. But for GT3, yeah, I would love to see the German Mustang team pull it off, just because there's something deliciously controversial about that. And let's see.
And I'm gonna.
I'm gonna throw a crazy one out there. I want to see one of the female teams, one of the female GT3 cars on the podium. I'm just
Fuck yeah, we'll support it.
I'm gonna throw it out there. Just
let it be said here.
Universe, and then maybe it'll happen. I think it'd be cool to see because it would just be cool to have more women have eyes on the sport.
Are you talking about the Iron Dames?
The Iron Dames, and there's another one this year too. I saw. I'll have to look at it again. But yeah, the Iron Dames are one of them, and I swear there was another one. But maybe, if not...
Does one of them stream iRacing also?
Yeah, Daniel just said they weren't very kind to me at Sebring.
Oh. Well, okay.
So, you don't have to put him out there like that.
Listen, I refuse to let that necessarily shape the way I feel, because picture this. Okay, let's flip roles here and imagine you are, because if you're like a legit race car driver and you're at these things, you have dudes coming up to you all day long. Oh man, can I get your autograph?
I thought you were about to say we're a men's team and there's a bunch of women coming up to us incessantly.
I thought that's exactly where he was going.
Like,
listen,
well, that would be kind of awesome.
There's no universe where that example is believable. You can't picture that. It is what it is.
Unless there's a Formula One team made for like a K-pop group, and then they come in and every single time they get ran through by what.
I can see.
Yeah, there's not a comparison. I don't think on the other side.
There's really.
Sorry, Eric. Back to your point. I know.
But continue. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're
We
good.
derailed. We derailed.
Yeah.
You're good. I think I kind of lost my point.
Yeah. Okay. Equality. So if you're imagine if you're a woman, you've got a bunch of men coming up to you saying,
"Yeah, thank you." So I mean, you're a professional, right? And you're already a figurehead to someone, but add some attractiveness to it as well. They probably just get the stupidest shit said to them all day long by some dumbass guys who have no idea how to talk to women, and they just walk up to them like, you hot, me like car, and then that's all they hear all day.
Wait, that's how I spit game.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, wait, hold on.
That's how
Is
I
there
got
another way
my
to
wife.
spit game?
There's a reason I have my wife sitting on the couch right now. Is I got El Camino.
Yeah.
You look
No
good.
comment.
Me no half trunk. Me have V8.
No comment.
Yes. Do you drive a stick? Was another pickup line I used with Sarah.
stick?
That was another pickup line I used. So, but anyway.
And we think we're smooth. And we think we're smooth. That's the worst part.
But all right, Eric, I'm sorry we totally derailed all of this, but I did want to mention
Don't be sorry.
Women do have. I'm not. We're not going to get political on this podcast, I promise. But women have had the harder way.
Oh, agreed. 100%.
Of getting
100%.
up here. I mean, I say that because my wife just got a ticket in my truck. Like, I have yet, by the way, to get a ticket. I'm 32 years old. My wife is 27.
You better knock on some wood right freaking now.
She's had 2 tickets. She got a ticket for running a red light in my truck a couple weeks ago, and then she got a ticket for speeding back in Phoenix. So there are reasons why women do have this stigma against them, but that is not all women, clearly. So that's
some really, really narrow data set right there to make
very anecdotal. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we strike that from the record.
I'm not going to go any further into this because I don't want to get in trouble. But
yeah, you're probably going to be in the doghouse from talking this shit already.
Oh yeah,
I know she can hear me too.
Edited. This will not make the final cut.
But yeah, right. But it would be good to see. Will it happen? I don't know. I mean, let's look at women in motorsports and other motorsports. I mean, was Danica Patrick the best driver?
No.
To have?
No.
Probably not. Did she get treated fairly?
No.
Probably not. There were a lot of times that she would get smoked out of races and people would just turn the other way.
There's too many people simping for her because she was a woman. And this is kind of just furthering my point. Like,
I don't think she could get a fair shake the other way either. It's almost impossible unless they're very, very good. Unless they're very, very good inherently, it's tough to get a fair shake.
She got opportunities to drive for fast teams. So I think she got a fair opportunity, to be honest. I think it was just an issue inherent in her attitude and her skill set. That's it. Because she could do fast lap times, onesie twosie at a time, but her consistency was not there. And then also, anytime she would be put under pressure, she'd crumble. She'd totally crumble. And you just can't do that. Like, if you got people breathing down your neck, you have to protect your line and hit your marks and keep your shit. More often than not, you'd see her come under pressure, and she would kind of almost immediately make a mistake. And I don't think that has anything to do with her being a man or a woman. That's just how she's thinking about herself and what's happening in the moment, So that's unfortunate because she was absolutely a big figurehead for it. But if you look, there are many women who have been in IndyCar and been way less, notorious, who've done well, done better than her. So it's a shame to me that she gets the attention that she does because I don't know that she deserves it. But
I think it puts a bad stain on women that are actually trying to make a name for themselves.
That's a fair point.
What's that woman in F1 that won 3 or 4 years in a row?
Oh my goodness, the one who
F1
crashed.
Academy. Well, F1 Academy decided to make a rule hey, if you win the championship, you can't race with us anymore.
The one just this
Jamie
past year.
Chadwick.
Jamie
Chadwick. That woman is so fast.
Well, hold on. Wasn't she in some kind of crazy accident though too?
Oh, was she?
I can't remember.
Was that the one at Laguna Seca? No, it wasn't that one, was it?
Hang on.
I remember seeing a highlight, but I don't think that was it.
There was a female Formula. No, it wasn't Jamie Chadwick.
Well, talk about that for 1 second, Eric, because I'm going to come back and we're going to get to the games.
Okay. Yeah, so the woman I'm thinking of, I can't remember who it was, but there was a woman actually who was set to become a Formula One driver. She was their test driver, and she had an unfortunate accident where she crashed.
Catherine Legg?
That's the one, Catherine Legg. Yeah. Oh man.
Daniel just said it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she lost her eye in that, if not more. That was bad. That was very bad.
That wasn't at Laguna Seca though, was it?
I don't believe so. I don't know why they would ever be at Laguna unless they were doing a formula test there. But
oh no, it wasn't, because I remember seeing this highlight on YouTube where it was at the corkscrew, right, Daniel?
Catherine Legg.
Where it was the car completely missed the braking points or something failed, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of. Where it was at Laguna Seca, just fucking yeeting it. It looked like it had to be hardware. car failure, but
Oh,
Yeah,
so
you just said hardware, by the way, J Hall. Like we.
I know I did because that's all my frame of reference.
I mean, he's not wrong.
It-
It wasn't a software
Yeah.
failure. It wasn't like the brakes.
Sim racing. It's all I do.
It's so true, guys. We're so cool.
right.
I did just check out Catherine Legg, though. Happy to report that she is going to be driving the number 51 Dale Coyne IndyCar for the remainder of the season. So good for her. Whatever the hell happened with that, it wasn't enough to keep her from getting back in a car, and that speaks volumes about her tenacity and dedication to the sport. So
Yeah,
hope to see
because
good
that's
things
got to
there.
be that's hard. It's like hard to get back in a car because I think it was brake failure. I don't think it was her fault. And
That's even worse,
to,
man.
to-
You're out of control.
to trust a machine, I only know it through my daily drivers and shit that I autocross and do little drift shit with. But like when something fails on you, it's so hard to like go back. No, but the next time you drive,
Oh, yeah.
to be like, I have to trust that this isn't going to react in the same way. It's like a mental barrier you have to break, and that's probably very difficult when you yeeted a fucking. Because what was it? Daniel chime in. I think it was a GT3 she was driving at Laguna, and a Lambo. Wait, I'm sure Daniel will chime in.
Dames?
At that time, I don't know. I don't think so because this was a few years ago.
We need a Jamie.
But yeah.
Yeah,
But I want
this
it.
is-
It was a GT3 going. Yep. All right. Daniel confirmed. Yeah, it was the Lambo, and she put it like straight. It's like she didn't brake for the corkscrew because it failed, and it was like one of the craziest crashes I've ever seen.
yeah.
Well, I mean, think about this in just normal driving chat, right? Like most of our vehicles are newer, like our daily drivers. I've got a truck now that's got like,
As you talk about your Camaro or the
well, the El Camino, but
El Camino,
most of the vehicles that are our daily.
and Eric with the Camaro, the IROC,
Yeah.
like the
Well,
old.
It wasn't even the IROC. That was a Berlinetta, and it had
that's
the IROC
premium.
We
engine.
ramped over railroad tracks as kids.
Hell
right?
yeah.
So-
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, my first was the Thunderbird. No ABS.
Had a
Like no,
makeup
literally no
engine.
ABS on my first car.
Oh, yeah, no ABS
But
as
I
well.
feel like I learned better from that. Like,
That's
yeah.
what I'm talking about. Nowadays, I don't know about you guys, but I've got the active braking, right? Like if I'm not paying attention or if someone hits
Gross.
the brakes in front of me,
That's
gross.
disgusting.
No.
the car automatically hits the brakes. It's got the lane keep assist. It's got all of this stuff
No.
that you rely on. What if one of those fail one day? Like all of these GT3
Wouldn't
cars,
bother me.
every car
I
that we're
hope they
talking
do.
about-
Like
Same.
I feel like they need personal responsibility.
right,
Like
listen.
so these people who rely on this shit
Frame of
frustrate me
reference.
so much. So much.
I like to live dangerously, so I daily drive a Nissan 350Z, and I only just put a fuse back in recently to give it ABS again, but traction control is permanently unplugged. Like I couldn't turn it back on if I wanted to, and ABS can and probably should be the same way again, but the only reason why I did it is because now my cruise control works. But I can do burnouts and left foot braking.
I get all of that, right? It's one of those things. Like imagine GT3 cars that so much technology is in. Talking about technology in our
Hey Adam, hang on 1 second. Hang on, you're breaking up really bad. Is he breaking up for you too, Justin?
Yeah. Maybe he's just got a buffer.
Yeah, I think you're
now?
better now. I think you're better now. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Speak slower.
Oh no, it's bad.
Imagine
bad.
all
Yeah, it's fucking up.
of
See if there's something you can do real
let
quick.
me-
Um,
Yep, go ahead.
Holy shit. Yeah, Daniel was commenting too. I didn't know Catherine Legg's injuries were that bad.
Let's see.
Ribs
Okay.
and pelvic fractures. Holy shit. Yeah, because I saw the video and I knew she survived and everything and was fine and obviously has.
Okay, so she wasn't the one who lost her eye. So there's maybe an even.
But
I think
wait.
there's someone else I need thinking of.
Wait. Oh, no. Sheena Monk is maybe who I'm thinking. Was Sheena Monk driving? And then Catherine Legg was.
Hold on, let's research. We really need a Jamie. Hey, if you're out there watching and you want to be our Jamie, if you don't,
Because
know what we're
now
talking
I
about-
remember Sheena Monk. Because I used to follow her on Instagram, I think. And yeah, she was a race. I think she was the one who actually crashed. But and now this is confusing me. I'd need him to weigh in on it. Because unless Catherine was riding shotgun as a, like, giving track notes on it. I'm not sure.
Oh, let's see. She appears to go dead straight up the crest into the barrier. Wow. Okay, yeah, lost her brakes. Let's see.
Because yeah, there's no other way. Like, and then I'm gonna start sounding shallow because Sheena Monk looks a certain type of way. Great driver though. Great driver. And
Wow. Just looking at the image of the crash. Let me see if I can.
have you seen it? It's insane. No, the video is insane. Like, it's like they didn't brake for the corkscrew.
That is
Yeah.
a lot of air time for something that should have all four wheels in the ground. That's crazy. All right, we lost Adam for just a second here. I think that's actually a pretty good time to just go ahead and pan over to a quick break. So when we come back, we'll probably, hopefully, have our trivia questions queued up. So why don't you go ahead, refresh your drink, come right back, and we'll be here.
Down.
All right, we are back. And is everything good? Can everybody hear me? We're all good.
You're good.
Do a bit more of a dance for it. That
Do a
wasn't
barrel
enough
roll.
Visual. Wait, what did you just do
Whoa,
with your hands?
Whoa. All right. Anyways, we are back. Oh, Daniel Chiaro said, adios, muchachos, bedtime.
Daniel,
no, Daniel, you got to stay up.
It's
I was gonna say your pronunciation of his name is getting worse every time.
Zero.
Whatever. All right, guys, we are back here. We're going into
Daniel
games.
Caballero just said that.
we're going into the games here, so we're gonna try to
Good night,
finish this
buddy.
out real quick. We're gonna play higher or lower again. I did not have time today to be able to get
Higher.
some actual questions in. So because Jesse, by the way, can we talk about J.
That's
Hall, what happened?
that's the phonetic pronunciation in the chat, by the way. If
See
you
you now. Oh, see you row.
0.
Okay. Zero.
you
Zero.
still got it wrong
I
once.
apologize, Daniel. Just hang out here. Anybody in the chat, by the way, Eric,
That's how he. I feel like that's back in the day how he would spit game. I'm Daniel. See you now.
okay, back to the game.
It probably worked.
Okay.
Get
60
this rolling. Get this
Oh, it would definitely work. Have you seen Daniel? That would have worked on me now.
Same.
All right. So Eric, Justin, Jesse absolutely beat the shit out of you last week.
Yeah, and that's why
we
he's
had
not here.
Daniel, We had Daniel Earnhardt trivia, and Jesse hit.
Oh, in the
Dale
game.
Earnhardt
In the
won
game.
2
Okay.
or 3
Okay.
times.
Dale
Yeah.
Earnhardt, not
So-
Daniel Earnhardt.
So we're gonna.
Love of God.
Did I just say Daniel Earnhardt?
You did.
Oh my god. Anyways, back to Dale Earnhardt. Back to the games tonight. So we're gonna do LeMans. It's gonna be 5 questions. It's gonna be higher or lower again. Bear
Okay.
with me here. They're gonna have to be numbered questions, but I'm gonna have to read through them. Justin, you lost, so I'm gonna give the first question to Eric. Eric, would you want
Fair.
question? We got 1 through 5 here.
Let's
Which
do it for
ones
Dale.
Would you want?
Of course.
Gonna
I'm
do
always
it
going
for
to do it
Dale
for Dale.
again.
Tell you what.
All right, number 3. Who is, or, in what year was the last 2-man crew? Did they win for their respective class in Le Mans? The last 2-man crew. What year was that?
This sucks. I actually have no idea. 1997.
Lower.
That is incorrect. J Hall,
It's lower than that for
you're
sure.
stealing.
That's all I have to say though, right? Is if it's higher or lower than 1997.
Right, but if you steal and you get it wrong, you lose a point.
Yeah, it's fair.
Steal
I'm,
and you get it right. You get
I'm
a
still gonna go lower. Yeah, I'll steal it.
All right, so J Hall is stealing. He is correct. The last 2-man crew to win at Le Mans was in 1984.
You're gonna be old. Oh, I would have
It
guessed
was-
older than that even. Damn.
Okay, that's more
1984.
recent. Okay.
Yep, it
What
was
team?
Klaus Ludwig and Henry Pescarolo. Took the victory for Porsche in 84.
Okay, that makes sense. Because if I had, I bet it's about money, right? Like, hey, we need to enter this team, pay for the car, have a crew,
Yep.
fuel, all the logistics.
But imagine just 2 people.
Well, right, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, in
That's so
the
crazy.
80s, they could have 2 people running it is a thing. I think the longer it went on, like you had to have more hands to feed that beast. You
Like,
know,
you might die.
Exactly.
sign me up.
Okay, J Hall,
Ugh.
you won, or you're now up 1-0. What question would you like?
1.
Question 1. Okay. There is a driver who has started Le Mans more than anybody else. His name is Henry Pescarolo. How many times did he take part in the Le Mans 24?
When did it start? Maybe
At
he's
the
just an
beginning.
OG though. 25. I'm saying there's probably somebody who's been at like I'm gonna say 25.
That is incorrect, Eric. Would you like to steal this? Or would you like to go to the next question? Remember, if you steal and you get it wrong, all you got to say is higher or lower. But if you get it wrong, you lose a point.
Kind of
Okay.
seems like a lot now.
I kind of.
But it's been around since what? Like the 20s or 30s? Like when did it start?
40s, I believe.
I'll steal it and I'll go lower.
Okay. You're going to go lower. Eric, you just lost a point.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Oh,
How many Wait, what boss has raced in more than 25 Le Mans 24s?
no driver has started the Le Mans 24 hours more times than Frenchman Henry Pescarolo. He took part in 33 races between 1966 and 2009.
What a
Winning.
boss.
In 1972, 1973, 1974, and 1984.
He won when it was wild. He won in the Wild West of the Le Mans.
He won in 72, 73, 74 for Matra, and won in 84 for Porsche.
Wait, how old was? And he raced through 2009.
From 1966 to 2009.
How old was he in 2009?
He doesn't give me that. I couldn't tell you. We
Is
got
he still
He
alive?
started in 66.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even if he was born, so I'm saying he's at least what, 18 to 20 at that age. He has to be like.
Yeah, so in 2009, we're going to have to look up Henry Pescarolo after this broadcast because he was 18. Daniel just said 18 years old when he started.
Dang, that's crazy.
So he was 18 in what
Good
year?
for him.
1966.
So like that's 34 years until 2000. I'm so bad at math. Have you talked to
Keep
me?
going,
Do you
Justin,
know how
keep going.
dumb I am? Do you want me to sound this out? If I do-
All right, anyways.
Oh man.
So, Justin,
Wait,
you're
okay,
you're
third floor.
still at 1.
What did you? Yeah. So he was almost 70.
Yes.
He was almost
His
70.
Last race, he was
It was
70
like-
years old. Oh, Daniel said that was my guess on the other question was 18. Daniel, you would have been
Oh.
wrong as well. So, yeah. But anyways, moving
Okay.
on.
Oh, Menagerie Gaming. What up, bro?
So moving
up?
on here, we are on question number 3. It's back to you,
Okay.
Eric. You are down you're at -1. Justin's at +1. Neither one of you guys got that one right.
Killing it.
Give me a question number 1 through 5.
Somehow, it always blows me away if I win anything.
We've already had number 3 and we've had number 5. Correct? J Hall is what you picked.
I picked one.
All right.
Oh well, then
It doesn't matter, anyways. You know what?
Give
Let me
me
just give
5.
you a question, Eric.
you just do that.
All right, I'll give you
do
number
that.
5.
Okay.
Let's just shut up and
Okay.
drive it.
The greatest number of victories of any Le Mans driver is held by Dane Tom Christensen. How many times has he won at Le Mans?
Man.
It's
Well-
it's the old stuff that's impossible to account for.
Yeah.
Because like shit was so different back then.
It was. I don't even. Yeah, I have.
I don't even know what's
no frame of
realistic.
reference. Yeah. Yeah, because I wouldn't have thought someone would have been able to do like 33 or however many races that was.
Speaking of that, Daniel Curo in the chat said his last race he was
0.
57 years old.
0.
Right, 0.
C-U-RO.
Got you.
If you say those 3 words and put it close.
0. Anyways, he was 57 years old in his
Pretty
last
good.
race at Le Mans in 09.
Okay.
That's young. That's younger than I thought. That sounds way better. That's
57. I'm going to say 26.
You think? All right, so I'm sorry. I threw you off here. The greatest number of victories by any driver.
Yeah, 26 victories.
26 victories. Okay. That is incorrect, Eric.
Yeah.
Justin, would you like to steal, or do you want to move to the next question?
yeah. I'm gonna steal. It's lower for sure. I think
It is
for
lower.
a single driver. Yeah.
Correct. It's
Still
way
no.
lower. He won 9 times
That's still incredible.
between
Nah.
1997 and 2013.
I knew it was going to be just some number that I just wasn't going to be able to get.
Dane Tom Christensen was his name. So, J Hall, not only did you steal and get it right, so that's going to give you 2 points. It's 3 to -1. Eric, you've got to get out of the negatives by the end of this. There's only 2 questions left.
No,
So,
listen,
Justin,
I'm
I'm
going
gonna-
for the golf strat. I'm going under.
Okay. Justin, I'm just going to give you a question because I
Let's get it
forgot.
down
We
under.
only got
Let's
2
go.
questions left. So, let's see here. What would the next question be? Ooh, here's one. All right, J Hall. The famous Le Mans start where drivers ran across the track to their waiting cars last occurred in what year?
Ooh.
1967.
That is incorrect. Eric, would you like to steal?
Yes. It's higher.
It's
I think it's lower.
It's just a little bit higher, guys. It was,
Oh!
1969.
Damn.
And that was a nice year.
69.
Yeah.
That was meant to be. Justin knows exactly how meant to be that just was.
Yep. So 1969 and 1970,
Okay.
drivers were strapped into their cars at right angles to the track. And for
I thought I was
1971
being conservative too.
Right?
I thought 67 was conservatively high.
No,
Oh,
I
damn.
kind of knew that one, and you said that, I was like, shit, that actually might be right.
It was very, very close, but nonetheless,
He's
Eric,
like-
you got 2 points. It's 1-3. You guys can still tie.
He's coming back. He's coming
So
back.
if we
Sure.
go to a tiebreaker, we're gonna have to ask another question. But this is the final question. 1-3 right now. Jay Hall, let me get you one here.
Get it.
There was a race 1 year that got postponed because of the French workers' strike. What year was that, Jay Hall?
Real fucking. Can you repeat the question?
The blank edition of the race was postponed until September due to the French workers' strike.
Okay.
This is a real
So
thing. Like
we're not
Oh, no,
talking
it
the.
is. I love the
We're
French
not
for
talking.
this. They
We're
can
not talking the
organize.
French Revolution. We're talking.
workers' strike.
Can I get a factory that they were striking from?
Like, that
No, I
makes
mean
a
it's
difference.
that's not how France works, dude. It was literally
That's not how
the
France
workers-
works.
No, he's right. They burned that whole freaking place down. I love that about them. Like when they get pissed off about something, like they.
I feel like Eric
motherfucker
knows
down.
the answer. All right, what was the question again? In its entirety?
The blank edition of the race was postponed until September due to the French workers' strike. What year was that race that they had?
The
to postpone?
blank edition?
What year was that race? Yes.
Wait, when you said the blank edition, is that another mystery that I'm not allowed to know in the question? Or is
Okay.
it
Let me reword this question for you.
Okay, thank you.
What
Variables.
year? At what year did the Le Mans 24-hour race get postponed due to the French workers' strike? They still ran it in September, but it got postponed.
$1972?
It's incorrect. Eric, you're going to have to steal to tie this up, dude.
Stealing it. We're going lower.
Again, Jay Hall, you were very close. The French workers' strike happened in 1968.
Yes.
Fuck!
Yes.
So it is now 3-3, guys. We're gonna
Oh,
have to do a
fuck.
tiebreaker.
Damn!
We're both doing it for Dale.
He
and
brought it back. He brought it back.
This
It
was
is 3-3.
destiny.
Oh.
Should
for
have
Dale.
happened in episode 3, by the way, not episode 4. Like this
Yeah,
is perfect. If
it
you and
should've.
Jesse were tied at 3-3, Jay Hall, this would have been perfect. But
It was destiny. I had to miss episode 3, so we had to bring it back for episode 4.
all right, Eric, because you won that last question, here you go. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm also Eric. Let's do it.
I said Eric.
Yeah, you asked if I was
Oh,
ready,
God.
though.
Oh God.
He
damn it.
also
All
said,
right,
"Are you
anyways.
ready?"
So, the most successful car is Porsche.
Push up.
With how many wins?
Oh. Nine.
It's incorrect, Justin.
Damn it.
Are you going to steal it, or do you want to go to the next question?
I don't know if that was a German pun too. I'm
It actually
going to steal it.
wasn't, but that's funny.
You're going to steal it? You're stealing. You're going for broke
Yeah.
here, Jay Hall.
I think it's less. I don't think Porsches have won more than 9 at Le Mans.
It's
You shouldn't
more.
have stole this question.
It's more. It's like 11.
No, it's not even that. You should not have stole this question, Jay Hall. Eric, you won the game. Porsche has 17
Porsche.
wins. Or Porsche is at 17 wins. Its
Okay.
first
Oh,
win-
it's overall. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, its first win came in 1970 with the 917K.
That thing was sick.
Its 17th year with the 919 hybrid.
Okay. And yeah, that makes sense because Porsche has gone pretty much unchallenged for like a while. Just now got Cadillac in there and some of the other big teams, and that's good to see.
Yep.
But yeah, they kind of ran away. Wow. Okay, I wouldn't have thought it was that number.
So Ciro said no way. I don't know what he said no way to.
Probably about
I
the
don't know
number.
what
He's probably just as surprised as we are because that's crazy. That's a dominance that is unique for that place.
Guys, this came off the Goodwood website, so I know these are probably pretty real facts here. So,
oh yeah, no, I have no reason to think Goodwood would lie about that.
Anyways, we are wrapping it up. We are at the end of the podcast. This has been episode 4, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. We've
Big shout out to anyone in the chat. Honestly,
we love your
this
faces.
is what will drive it. Anyone who wants to get in the chat, we will talk to you. We will respond.
It's true.
As obvious.
So we're going to stop right now here before we close the end of the show out. This is the end of the podcast. So anybody that's listening to the podcast, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time. But until then, what do you guys got to do?
Let's shut up and drive it.
All right. Yep, there you go. Now, we're going to open it up to anybody who's watching the podcast right now. Any questions you guys want to ask us? Anything you want to talk about? Any trivia questions you guys give us?
It's so late on East Coast time. No.
It is.
No, I'm down.
Cosmic Citrus, what you got? Come on, bro. It's like, anybody who wants to hop in here will respond to stuff. Like, literally anyone.
Yeah, we're just hanging out now, guys. We're just waiting for questions from you guys. It does not matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's later on East Coast, but I'm surprised people are still in here.
Mm-hmm. Especially on a Wednesday night, dude. That's impressive. Wednesday night. We still have people awake for this.
That's dedication. That's love. That's race cars.
It is. Oh, yeah. What can we look up? What was the...
So
Daniel, here you go.
Share your
CSL driving experience.
Oh, Lord. Oh, man. Okay. Well, let me just talk more about this fantastic man, Daniel Ciro here. He and I are kindred spirits in ways that I never expected, which is what I love about the man. But another thing I love about the man is his generosity. And, he let me take the helm of his M4 CSL, which, if you aren't aware, it's a very special edition of the BMW M4. I think they only made like 3,000 of those, something like that. It's the
most special edition. Like, it's the most special edition.
Yeah. So it's your standard M4, but it's been reworked from tip to tip, right? Including the tires, the wheels, the whole nine. He let me drive it. Granted, it was on some spanked Michelin PS4s, but honestly, that I'm glad he did it that way because I really got to experience the engineering in that car. We kept the traction control and all that stuff on, and even with that, I was surprised at how much I could like rotate the car and like manipulate it. But it never let me get to the point where I was uncomfortable, which was really, really cool. I could just send it, and it felt almost immediately like a video game. So, I'm just, driving that thing, but I'm, going, I think I hit 97 miles an hour in an autocross, which is insane because most autocross insurance covers up to, I think, 65 or 70 miles an hour is,
Don't tell him that.
Standard.
With the MSRP of that car, don't tell him that.
Oh no, we talked about it. But
I'm just fucking around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like he said too, we had top time packs for which if you aren't aware, if you don't autocross, what PAX is, they will look at the class of car you have versus the time you have, and they'll put it on a weighted scale. So if you have a slower car that does a really fast time, you get more credit for that because it's more impressive that you were able to do that with that car. So there are some things there that just on the pack scale, the Miatas, the turbo Miatas, that just, it's tough to beat. But I mean, we still had one of the faster cars on for the day, and just the ride of it. It was so much fun. I have never felt so emotional at the end of a run driving that car. That was what I noticed. I couldn't contain myself, and I didn't know what to do because I've never felt like that. So that was really
I
cool.
was doing my hands.
I didn't know what to do with my hands.
But also, it's like you can't. What's crazy is there can't be an autocross class for that car.
Yeah,
Because
no, it was too fast.
I have to give the biggest shout out to Daniel. I would bet my fucking bank account there has never been a CSL on an autocross layout
Yeah,
in all of the United States. I would
Yeah,
bet.
that's
Because
true.
how many, what did he say? 200 in the US. I bet 199 are
US.
sitting in garages right now.
Oh my god!
And
I didn't realize
he's
it was
the only
that little.
fucking man out here driving his cars that
Wow.
he gets. And that's why Daniel is a fucking boss. Like,
Agreed.
no matter what it is. He got the 720. He got the CSL. And he just fucking, he appreciates it.
He appreciates it, but he lets his friends appreciate it too, which is man. I can't thank you enough, buddy.
And then Cosmic Six. One of my buddies autocrossed his Ascent.
That is amazing. Okay, is there any
That's
video
also
of
like,
this?
did it roll? Did it roll? Would be my
I
question.
need to hear more about this. How did that go? Any details? Anything? Pictures? Anything?
But yeah, with Daniel back to his shit was incredible.
man.
I had the privilege of riding shotgun for one of the runs.
We gotta
And
talk about logos, by the way. We should do that.
it was fucking wild. It was wild. His car was. It felt like it felt. How did I describe it? It was. It felt like you were.
Hold on. I want to see if I can.
It was a bodybuilder in
it.
a straitjacket.
That's a good way to.
You could tell it was ready to fucking throw down, but it just.
You said
the
something
TCS
like,
kept it.
I've never been in something that's driving itself so much, or like you said something like that. I want to see if I can find the video.
Well, because like I've been so not every car that I've driven with TCS has been so overly intrusive that if you engage with the traction control, it ruins the driving experience. But in this CSL, the TCS like it kind of I don't know how to explain it. It only provided what the car could do, and it just made it this fucking monster. Like, and that's why I said it felt like a dude on steroids in a straitjacket, because no matter how bad you pushed him, he was still confined.
So we
Is
do have
this
a
it?
screen here from Eric.
This is
yes.
it. I want to see if I can get the audio sharing to work. So let's do a quick test. You guys hear that?
No audio, buddy.
Okay,
we
so-
will have to figure that out.
That's definitely my fat ass over there, isn't it?
It is.
is.
That is Jay all over in
I'm
the
looking
right
to see
hand
really
side.
quick if I can figure this
100%.
out.
And that's what slows it down.
Look at the
wa-
car. You can see it, the rake on the front because of you two guys sitting in it right now.
Dude, me and Eric combined are 500 pounds.
It's true.
500 pounds.
we're a whole lot
Like,
of men.
if you look at any, like,
I'm skinny
I'm
as
too-
a rail.
I'm
but
260.
still like 220.
Hero said, or sorry, C-Hero said he could hear it. So go ahead and say
Oh, you
it.
could. Okay. So we're sending it. All right.
yeah, I think if I can hear it, they can,
I can hear it.
Let's. No, I can't hear it.
Hear it fighting itself the whole time.
Yeah, like you can hear it fighting itself the whole time. Is what you said. And I'm just like.
Well, no, that's what it was. That's what, like, it was like, it has so much more in it. But the tire,
Look
the,
at it go, man.
the tires weren't, the tires weren't letting it do it.
No.
I mean, it was still pretty intense. Dude.
This is my
That's
favorite section
insane.
here, though. So here I was flat the whole way, and just watch this. This is incredible. Not quite flat, but we hit 95 right there. 95 on an autocross track. What the hell?
That's impressive, man.
And the slalom here was it was so good. Not this slalom, but I guess from here on out is a slalom, but it was just such a fun course. Amazing car. What an amazing opportunity.
369s in a row.
Like I said, the 69 is a meme.
Daniel says ceramic brakes are a beast too. And then also, I don't know if you got this, Cosmic Citrus said, yeah, he put my logos all over it.
Yeah. Oh, I did see that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we got to talk about that, Cosmic. I think we should do some logo action. There's no reason not to.
Daniel said it's a 181 car on Daytona.
Yeah.
On the streets, yeah. It does
that's
certifiably
right
hit
there.
those speeds.
Yeah. No. And I just it was so cool because like I've driven a bunch of cars, you know, but never anything quite so prepared like that, even though the tires were spanked.
Well, that's what's weird is it was not prepared. It's
Yeah.
the bone stock version on tires that weren't adequate for it, and it still murdered. It still crushed everything.
What's that,
Like
an M5?
No, it was the
4.
CSL.
Yeah, M4.
Yeah, it was the CSL,
wow.
like the CSL version. Like
So
that's
carbon
not
fiber,
like
hood. Trunk.
that's no middle of the mall shit.
Daniel,
That's-
are the fenders still metal, or are they also carbon? I can't remember. I mean, they basically, like I said, they reworked the whole car. The engine, they, I think, did some like more reliability and stuff, but the turbos are slightly bigger, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's always like nominal though. Like engine
Yeah.
power is only like plus or minus 50. It's always the
But
chassis
suspension,
lightning.
the
That's,
suspension and the chassis. Like, I haven't like driven an M4, like a regular M4, in anger, and I wouldn't say I was in anger with that car, but I felt pretty comfortable with it. God bless you, Daniel. Oh wait, let's see. Metal, but all is tuned,
All is
higher
tuned,
revving.
higher
Yeah,
revving.
so that makes sense. I can imagine that
Oh
car
wow, it's
just
bespoke
feels.
suspension too. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah. So like you just know that this is a different caliber, like immediately sitting in it. So like I mean I didn't have any like frame of reference for anything that prepared, right? So like, you know, what would like a GT3 car feel like? What would anything like high horsepower feel like?
Right.
I didn't have a my previous benchmark.
You drove Brad's M2. That was
M2,
very close.
and that was honestly a pretty good benchmark, but it was a different course, so like the speed was different. But I did get really fast in Brad's car too. You know what? Since we have this figured out, let's compare because we can go to the tape.
Oh
Yeah, Brad's not in here still. But all things considered, I would bet Brad would consider his M2 faster
Of course
than
he
an
would,
M4
because it's his
CSL.
car, dude.
Well,
But
hold
it
on,
might be.
wait till we go to the tape because you might be convinced this thing was
But-
dirt nasty.
That's what's tough though, is you can't compete against DCT and shit.
Yeah, 'cause this
Brad's
thing
was manual. Brad had an M2 that was full manual, like little boss car, like
It
fucking
was.
boss car.
And this run that I pulled off with it ended up being really good, but there was like 2 or 3 runs that were not good because sorry, this is really loud. I had to find how. So with a BMW,
He hadn't ridden with me yet in Bjorn's car to learn how fast cars could go.
dang, that's part of it. But no, so BMW.
And then he crushed us. Like, it wasn't
what it
even
is.
close. No, me and Bjorn were beating them. It was so funny because I remember the day. It was me and Bjorn in an E46 M3 against
He said it
Eric
depends on
and
the car,
Brad.
by the way.
No, it was so funny because the first 2 runs, the E46 M3 was faster, and we were like, "Oh, maybe it's like we're really that good." And then by the
Couldn't
end
find
of it, Eric blew us out by like 2 seconds. It was
So-
like not even close.
What it is with BMW's reverse is like you just push over where first is, and it's like over.
Oh, the lockout.
There is no lockout. Like
Yeah.
you just push past it. So like I would go to heel toe from third to second and push it into that like reverse realm, and it did nothing. So like I had to like find it and like figure out like, okay, I have to put it like exactly like physically here for it to go into second. And that's when I was like, okay, I figured it out, because I would go up to third and then down to second. But let's go to the tape here because we've got it
All right, tail of the tape. Here we go.
spooled up.
Which one is this? You in Brad's car?
Yeah, but it's our video, so we got all of them.
Without further ado,
Yo, I think that was Tom. Was that Tom waving the flag?
Might have been.
I never noticed it till now, but I think that might have been Tom.
The sounds are incredible. And I instantly just knew how to drive this thing too. It was incredible. Listen.
It seems smaller.
It is smaller.
That perfect. I finally got the downshift there. So then I was like, okay, this is gonna be the run. It's gonna be fast as shit because that's all I was missing before. And then, so the finish here, they don't normally do a third gear finish, but this one they did. And I felt it out before. I'm like, oh yeah, I could send it pretty hard through here. So when I had this run before, I was like, here I'm gonna go. So you'll see I'll shift to third early. Yeet. And then, of course, I had to do the downshifts. When you did good, you know you feel good, you know? J-Hall.
Oh, this is J-Hall now, right? Oh, no.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not J-Hall.
That was, but yeah, he destroyed me. This is an E46 M3 that I'm driving.
Yeah, Cosby saying it sounds so good.
That's incredible.
And also just a shout out of like how fucking genuine sim racing is. Like we didn't
Make
really
these
know Brad or Bjorn beyond sim racing at this point. And we just showed up at the firm and they let us drive their cars. Like just based off the knowledge of how we drove digital cars.
I'm gonna skim through the video really quick after your run because there's a part where I literally say that this met our internet friends.
But yeah, that was so much fun. That was like
I was in the car and said to myself, go hell yeah.
In 60.3, you got shit stomped.
yeah.
J-Hall.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's no step into that thing. Like
It's got a full exhaust.
Here we go.
Oh,
It's
there's
a
bicycle.
different kind of video
Is he gonna
today,
beat
as you can
too,
tell
J-Hall?
already.
Look at that guy.
First off, we both
Probably.
Oh, look
on
at
the
him. You look
screen,
so much
right?
younger.
But-
Wearing your army hat and stuff.
We met our
Yeah.
internet friends too.
Yeah, we met our internet friends. Yeah, I was younger and dumb and yeah.
Guys, that looked.
I mean, he was younger, but the same amount of dumb.
That's fair.
Don't
yeah,
believe
That's-
that. Don't
fair.
believe that.
That's much fair.
very true. Do we have any more questions, guys, before we close this one out? We'll
questions,
give a
any
few minutes for you
topics?
guys to. Yeah, anything.
I don't-
Anything you want to know about me?
I don't know. I think we got to give a big shout out to anybody who's in the chat.
Yeah,
Cosmic,
Absolutely.
thank you for being here, shouting out
You're
some
the
questions. Daniel, he already knows it. Motherfucking man, the motherfucking man. Daniel C. U. Rowe. Get it right next time.
see
C.
you
I'll be
now.
seeing
U.
you, Daniel.
Rowe.
See you
Like
now.
put it together. Put it together.
Zero.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
For real though, Daniel.
And big shout out to Brad.
Slip in
Brad,
my DMs,
always in the
buddy.
chat. Slowby1. He's got to change his name and his picture now that he doesn't have a fucking Supra anymore.
That's true.
I want to know what Brad's going to get into. He's the boy though. He's moving out to where he's going to have some land. I feel like dude's going to be into some side by sides and shit like that. So
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's gonna be
Daniel.
interesting. I do remember that that message from Brad, or that talk from Brad saying that he was gonna go out there and get some land, and good for him. Like that guy deserves it. You all deserve it. Oh, Adam, favorite refueling memory. Oh, buddy.
that makes me feel like that's targeted. Did you fuck something up?
No.
Well,
no,
he's
no, no.
that's what he does.
It sounds like you fucked something up.
So I was a mechanic, obviously, on the KC-135.
He's a lube
and
guy.
Okay.
There
knows
are
all
a lot
about
of
lube.
pictures. Yeah. Oh.
How many different kinds of
There are
lube
a
do
lot
you
of-
use daily?
Two. I use high temp and low temp. Depends on the amount
Ooh,
of speed.
are you
that
high
things are
temp or are
oscillating.
you low temp?
the amount of speed. It depends how excited he is.
Exactly. But yeah, so my favorite refueling memory that I can't pull up, but I can tell you guys about it. We were flying over some undisclosed location on the way back from a deployment, and we had an emergency. Basically, there was a bomber that needed gas. Didn't drop all of his bombs. He had been hanging out for about 10 hours. Had to go drop more bombs. So I'm the crew chief. I'm the flying crew chief. So I'm sitting up front with the guys. The pilots we're almost over the ocean at this point, over England, and then they have to turn around, which in a KC-135 is fine. We've got plenty of gas. So we turn around. We go back to where we just came from, hoping we don't have to land there again, because we wanted to go home after 4 months. But anyways, we go down to 20,000 feet, and a B-1 bomber comes up underneath us. And that has got to be the craziest thing I've ever seen, because I saw the wings. He was flying almost supersonic to get to us because he needed to get to us. He didn't have much gas. It was an emergency. His wings spread out. He comes underneath the bottom of us. And guys, a B-1 bomber, when they're only 20 feet away from you, that's a big aircraft to be a supersonic bomber.
I bet.
It is something.
They look crazy up in the sky. Like, they look like they're not supposed to be there. Like, they're gonna fall.
Right. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. And then obviously to hear them. So when they dropped off, the boom operator asked me if I would like to come back. So of course I said yes. So they drop off the back of the boom. They come back a little bit. I'm so sorry about the dog being an asshole right now in my lap.
That's rough.
But they drop off and they come down, and then he just hits the afterburners. And let me tell you what, guys.
Tell you what.
Four F-15 afterburners in the back of this thing. As he goes underneath us, it shook the whole airplane at 20,000 feet. And he was gone. Wings swept back. Just got to be the coolest thing. But yeah, I haven't refueled, but I've sat in the seats when they've refueled F-35s, F-22s. I saw a B-2 at one point, which was really cool as well. I've got a bunch of pictures that I can share in the chat, or I'll share next time of, we've got 3 F-16s off of each wing that are super duper close together, so we can all make one signature as we're flying through the air. It has got to be the coolest job I've ever done, and that's why I'm still in it. I mean, I don't work on KC-135s anymore. I work on C-130s, but that's a different beast for sure. Eric has flown on C-130s before. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I want to ask you a question. Kind of dovetails off of this one. How many combat landings have you done? Followed up with, how many have you done that you did not know about until you were doing them?
So here's the deal, Eric. I am the mechanic. If I'm flying on that airplane, I'm the flying crew chief. You guys had FCCs on your airplanes as well. Mm-hmm. We knew everything.
I guess that's
before
true.
they were gonna do it.
That's true.
So there's
no
nothing
initiation.
That those pilots.
There's no initiation phase or anything.
No, because those pilots tell us what they're gonna do to that airplane. If we're not flying with it, they'll tell us what they're gonna do to that airplane before they take off, so we know what to expect when it comes back.
I guess that makes sense.
So we always know what they're gonna do. But
man,
in a C-130,
freaking combat medic, they didn't tell me shit.
Yep. No. Of course not. It doesn't. You were sitting in the back the whole time. Nobody gives a shit about you. Just save the people, dude.
I just see this guy at the front, and he's looking at us all weird, and then all of a sudden he goes away and the lights go off, and I'm like,
yep.
What's happening? And then the red lights come on, and then we went from sky to ground in that. I'm like, oh my god.
So I was on an exercise about 2 months ago, and we were down. He said I lived on a C1 base, or a C5 base for a while. Watching them take off would make me almost wreck my car. Yeah, so I've been in for about 10 years. I love airplanes, Cosmic, and every time I see an airplane flying overhead, I gotta pull over and look up and see, what is that, a 737, 47? I love airplanes, dude. I really do.
You
but
can't not, right? That's cool stuff you just don't see very often. So,
but anyways, sorry. Back to your C-130 story. We were in Sacramento, California, doing an exercise, but we had to fly down to LA. We had to take some people back. We picked people up at Nellis. We took them over to Sacramento. We picked people up Sacramento, took them down to LA, Riverside. Yeah, come here to see the Rockets. I do need
Are
to
they
get down there
red?
to see you guys, Daniel. I really do. I would love to come down there and see you. But we fly out of Riverside. What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay,
Nailed it.
we fly out of Riverside. We're coming back to Sacramento. And our pilots told us, like, all the maneuvers they were going to do, they called them low levels, which basically you're flying through the mountains. And, Eric, I don't know if you've been to L.A. or San Francisco, Sacramento area, but there's mountains all the way up through
Oh,
there.
yeah. It's
So
very...
we low-leveled. Yeah. We low-leveled from Southern California to Northern California. And the
That's
pilot
pretty cool.
goes, hey, we're gonna be pulling 2 Gs, and we're flying through mountains.
His
And
front middle pocket.
Okay, I see the joke now. But I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And then the pilot tells me, he goes, you're a X-135 crew chief. You're going to sit up front with us. And I was like, why?
That's cool.
He goes, because you're going to throw up if you're sitting in the back. I was like, fair
Oh,
enough.
yeah.
Mind you,
Yeah.
there's an F-350,
Because, like, that
by the way.
momentum kind of feel when you're
Yeah.
at the back. Yeah, that's huge.
There's an F-350 in the back of our C-130 right now, and we have people lined from this exercise that are going back up to San Francisco. So we take off. We're in a 4-ship formation, and we are buzzing. I don't know who was driving down this highway at this time of day. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, L.A. rush hour traffic, and we are flying about 100 feet above all of these cars, 4 C-130s flying through Los Angeles. And it was
Pretty sick.
all of the memories that I've had of the KC-135. I think those low levels top it. Just the amount of G's that those C-130s can pull
They can
was
move.
wild,
They
even
can
for
move.
me. Yeah, so it was a really cool,
Plus-
really cool experience. And we got a noise complaint as well that we had to answer to when we got back to Nevada.
That's so
Someone
California.
got a video of us.
How do they even track that? It's just,
Well, someone got a video of us, and they're above us, so they were like hiking or whatever.
like
and
bill
we-
it to the Air Force.
right?
Daniel, please, name a day, name a time. I've never seen one.
I still know a few people. Yeah,
That
absolutely.
would be incredible.
man.
I mean, we need to catch
yeah.
up soon anyways, so sooner the
We do.
better.
But anyways, so the noise complaint, J-Hall, came from somebody sitting up high here, and we were down below. Like, we flew below them through the mountains. If someone was hiking, we were underneath them. So they called back to Nellis, and the Nellis...
Way below the
base-
flight deck that was established for that
Oh,
exercise.
yes.
Way below
Yes.
that 10,000-foot
I
flight
mean, the
deck.
flight deck is just a
Oh.
recommendation, right?
Exactly.
Kind of like the speed limit.
So, yeah, they called back to Nellis, and they were like, hey, who has a white tail? And it says high rollers on our tail. And
Oh,
it was
shit.
our tail. flash.
Baller.
Yeah. So,
They shook their tail feathers, what they just did.
so the base commander called the co-pilot who had been friends with him forever, said, hey, is your tail flash white? He goes, yes, why? He goes, we got a noise complaint. Was everything legal
A
that you
noise
guys were
complaint.
doing? And of course, the co-pilot says, oh, yeah, of course
Hell
it was.
no.
I mean, was it legal? I don't know, but it was cool to see a video of us flying below somebody who's hiking in the mountains. You would never see that.
Yeah,
in
that's
135.
crazy. That's really crazy when you put it that kind of perspective. That's next
Yeah.
level. Because those things they're
Absolutely.
big.
They are. They're not small,
Yeah,
but they're not as big as the 135 for sure.
that's
What
true.
she
But
said.
Daniel,
But
absolutely, I will.
Go on.
I will take you up on the rocket launch. I do need to come down to Florida to see everybody, anyways. Most of my
Yeah, you do.
friends are down in Florida now. I've got Daytona 24 next year, guys. We all need to make a plan. All the SUDI guys, we all got to find a way down there.
You know I'm like 20 minutes from Daytona now.
Can I stay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Deadass?
Nailed it.
Yeah, not even a question.
Is this a bros before hoes thing, or can I bring my hoe?
Oh, no, you can bring her too. Yeah, we'll give
Okay.
you a whole spare room.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's do it. So, Daytona 24 next year. You heard it here first. It's only June. I've got plenty of time. So, we will make plans for Daytona 24. Until
No
then,
cap.
guys, if we have any more questions, they've got to be quick ones. But I think we're probably done. Daniel, let's go. No cap. Absolutely. I will see you guys
Busted.
in Daytona
And,
24.
yeah,
Respectfully.
and thank you to Daniel. Fucking being around, being a real motherfucking dude.
Just a good goddamn friend. All
He's
in
a
all.
decent dude. He's a decent guy. Decent guy.
Yeah.
We'll
I've
go
never
out to
met
him.
this guy. I've never met this guy, and he's sitting here trying to tell me how to run in the rain at Watkins Glen, and I still haven't done it. So
I'd believe
Yeah.
him. I would believe him with anything, honestly.
I know. Daniel, you are a great guy, but Until
Good
the
dude.
next time, Eric, Justin, sometimes life's going to get hard. What do you got to do?
Get harder.
Fuck it. Damn it.
Shut up and drive it.
You got to fuck it and get harder. But what do you have to do? What is our slogan sitting there on your monitor right now, Eric? One more time.
Shut up and drive
Sure,
it.
derp a derp derp.
Good night, guys. We'll see you next time.
Oh, that was
I love
good.
you guys. We're not
That
off
was
yet,
good.
but we're going off. Not yet. Almost. It's still happening. Okay, almost.
Hardware, tools, and nuts. Here at Grandma D's, we are the real deal. No parodies, because trust me, you can only handle one of me. We are excited to announce a new tool collab with Bofa Industries. We expect a bright and prosperous future moving forward as Bofa D's. Philip D's, our founder, celebrates 55 years in business this year. That is a legacy D's nuts can be proud of. Grandma D's stainless hardware, made with the highest quality. You can never over-tighten D's nuts.